was wondering why it wasn't.
My bad. Sorry. Now you
Now
are
I'm
live.
live. We just did things out of order. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. And that was fuzzy. Now it's not. Cool. Thank you, phone. Oh boy. We'll go ahead and give people a few seconds to come on in. Ms. Jan Marie's not here, right? Like she's not in that back room. All right. First one I had all week, and I don't want it getting stolen from me. I like how you're checking out the window for. Fuck it, Friday is in full swing. How's everyone doing today? Oh, there's Mama Quill. Man, she's a real one. She's been here since like I only had 3 viewers. She was like the only real viewer because Mickey and I had it on our phones as well. Miss Sonia, Miss Herner, I believe. My eyes work well not, and then Clack got all fancy with everything in the background and the camera, and now I got this bright light in my face showing every line here. No, I'm playing with you, dude. I'm playing. All right. So I got a couple questions. You see, the way things have been going, I came to this realization yesterday when I was having a down moment, and then I decided to attack my kitchen like a rabid chihuahua, and then I decided to clean up the rest of my house like spring cleaning was in effect, even though it's not spring outside, right? As 810 goes, we've got definitely riflemen, you, Wentus, Mickey, Ms. McIntyre, everyone that finds an issue and drills down on it, and I like to sit here and I like to harp on the same issue for a long while with like pinning fire. So, that's something I'm used to. I was a machine gunner for like my entire fucking career. Which, yeah, I saw a video this morning that brought back fond memories. Grand thumb, thank you very much. So I decided to go back to a fun old topic about nonprofits and how certain council members can fund money through nonprofits, especially their own. Not just ARPA funds, but gifts from Ashley. And I've gone through this before. It's an indirect bribe in my mind. The Ashley Capital had a vested interest in the city of Flint. They had a vested interest in how the council was going to vote to sell them this land at $72 million and then give them a $72 million tax break, essentially. And they gave gifts to 2 of them. In my mind, I thought, well, Attorney Kim, giving his wonderful legal opinion, said, no, it's not illegal if it goes to a nonprofit. Right? Oh, I'll still be around, Mama Oakville. But then I decided, Attorney Kim, you're probably wrong, but I need something to back that up. So I went searching through the web, and I'll be honest, my web browser doesn't open very much, so it was a very scary place. I like Discord. Right? Discord, great chat app. My video games, very fun. Google, very scary place. I don't like Google. I found 3 rather fun stories. U.S. attorney corruption case targeting Los Angeles City Hall first broke into view. Much of the public's attention was focused on vivid descriptions of cash bribes, escort services, and lavish trips to Las Vegas. But as the investigation has unspooled over the past year, federal prosecutors have laid out.
Escort?
Yes. It's L.A. Come on, dude.
Wait a minute. Like, they didn't pay cash for the escorts? Like, will they put the escorts on a P card?
I mean, who knows? Maybe the escorts wanted something done with their park.
No more comments from me.
Hey. So, I'm sorry, something like...
I'm sorry for interrupting.
No. I turned my head for a second, and I see that blue little heart, but it looked like something else for a second. I'm like, huh? Anyway. But as the investigation has unspoolled over the past year, federal prosecutors have laid out another less sensational set of allegations. The deputy mayor turned real estate consultant worked to arrange indirect bribes for city officials by rotating the money through those officials' family members. Okay. So there's one set of arrests for indirect bribes. This is an 8-page story. So let me just go ahead and kick on to the next one. Yeah, there we go. Chuck those aside. As defendants pulled up to our Newark office yesterday, carrying 44 prominent political and religious leaders, including mayors, assemblymen, and rabbis, it would have been easy to mistake them for a group of visiting VIPs. Instead, they were defendants in a 2-track criminal investigation, arrested by our agents during an early morning sweep and charged with political corruption and high volume international money laundering. It goes on to say 3 New Jersey mayors, 2 state senators, numerous political operatives, and 5 well known rabbis from New York and New Jersey were among those arrested. Charges include politicians accepting cash bribes and rabbis laundering millions of dollars through their tax exempt charitable organizations. The rabbis. I mean, we live in Flint. We know how religious organizations get used here. That one was fun. I enjoyed reading about that one. And then we've got another one from Los Angeles. This time, California State Senator Ronald Calderon charged with taking bribes in exchange for official acts on behalf of a hospital through a nonprofit. So the rabbis and them were taken down. You want to know which group actually arrested them? The IRS. Yeah, the IRS has actually got a badass SWAT team. They're pretty fucking cool. They're not as scary as, say, the post office, and I'm not even being funny there. The post office has its own police force with a SWAT team that's better than the FBI.
Really?
Yes.
Well, they got to detect stuff that's going through the mail.
That isn't even the original purpose for that police force. The original purpose is because there's a government mandated monopoly that you must send all of your letter mail through the post office.
Right.
Like you can't use FedEx or UPS or, couriers. You have to send it through them. And when this police force was first made in like the 1800s, it was to track down people using non-United States Postal Service agencies to deliver mail. And they've grown over time and they've gotten good. Like I got to watch some video of them kicking in doors and making arrests. Holy shit, I wouldn't mess with them. But then, putting literature in people's mailboxes without paying any postage stamps might get you a firsthand view of it.
I do know that postage is very expensive. From the last time I ran a campaign, it was like,
oh yeah,
I remember the numbers $800 and then it was $2,000 for something. So I think it was like $800 for all of the stuff you got to go through the paperwork at the post office, and then you got to pay for the postage at a discounted rate. So that's when I had to have all the the outgoing, the people that supported whatever, and figure out what their addresses was and whatnot. But yeah, like postage is not cheap. Like not cheap.
So one of my favorite non-810 content creators, the Fat Electrician, he explained that he was talking about a guy running a tank into a lake and not getting charged by the U.S. Army. Okay. Us mere mortals, as he explained, when you get out of the Army, you have to turn in everything you ever used. So they'll pull out this sheet that's like as long as my arm, and they'll sit there and they'll read off, okay, we gave you marker tube type in 2007. Where is it? What the hell's a marker tube type? Oh, you mean a Sharpie? I don't have it. How much? Well, around here we pay $79.99 per marker tube type. They will hound you for the rest of your damned life to get that $79.99 back. So imagine when Uncle Sam finds out that you skipped out on a couple hundred fucking dollars on postage. Say delivering campaign literature around the city of Flint. Like,
This is not cheap. I know that.
so that's, we have two people on city council, but one who keeps breaking the law, right? Continuously, aggressively, even almost habitually. And she gets angry at citizens speaking up for their own rights. I mean, your First Amendment right, you go there and you just, because what was the First Amendment originally meant for? It's meant for you to openly and honestly voice concerns about your government. Well, you do that at city council, you get kicked the fuck out. But we have someone who can commit mail fraud and commit money laundering and indirect bribes and use fraud and her own nonprofit to launder money to herself, allegedly. We'll throw that in there on the back end because you know they're sue happy. $50,000 from ARPA funds, national funds, that gets you a lot of attention if you aren't playing things exactly right. What up, Terrence? If you aren't playing things exactly fucking right, which I doubt she is. And how much of that actually goes toward her salary? Does she do a income-based salary for herself, or is it a flat rate? I mean, it's a nonprofit, but you still have to pay the employees, unless everyone decides to be a volunteer, right? With the amount of money that has gone through Sarvis fucking Park, I don't think anyone wants to be a volunteer.
Trust me, everybody hates the V word. Like,
Oh yeah.
Everybody wants to be paid. Like the V word, volunteer. People hate that. You know what I mean? Like unless you know.
Nah, like you can't even get volunteers at church no more.
Well, I volunteer at a couple churches, but people hate the V word.
Yeah.
I mean, like they hate that.
They hate the V word almost as much as I hate that T word. Taxes.
What's up, Jessica? How you doing?
Every damn day. So they don't respect the first. What?
I didn't turn it off. I just turned it down.
Oh.
This is your show. I'm just here. I'm Mickey today.
Mickey's usually louder than you.
So yeah, I just
And speaking of nonprofits and how they're used and abused here, right? When I was running for state rep, I fell in love with the idea of Flint running so many nonprofits. Obviously, my attitude has fucking changed, right? I used to think of it as community just trying to uplift itself. So many people see a problem and try to fix it. That is a very pretty lie. In the city of Flint, nonprofits have been running for damn near 30, 40 years, and the city of Flint is still in the same situation it's in. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. So is Flint insane? Or are they getting the result that they want? And let's just say blaming failures on something else. How many nonprofits do we see in this city, including churches? And I know I'm going to get a call from Wintis later because she loves the churches around here.
I never seen. I'm just
Look, and that's fine if your church is your church, and I expect folks from 810, from the folks that I interact with, to know if their church is being used, is turning into a political prostitute. If they are more interested in earthly matters than heavenly matters, it's probably not a church. Let's just be honest. Okay. But they're tax exempt, profitable, or charitable organizations. Then we've got our nonprofits, Sarvis Park, for instance, things of that sort. And Flint is still in a downbeat, downtrodden, beat up state. As you showed, 3 days ago when you posted pictures of that fucked up street? Exactly.
Oh no, that was my street. Like that was like I don't know. There's 3 different. I don't know if they're water mains, but like they're all busted up around the house. Like.
So and we expect better.
Mhm.
Flint is still in that state despite how much money we throw at these nonprofits. How many of these nonprofits picked up money for blight? Okay. So they say ARPA funds haven't been dispersed yet, but how many other grants have they written for blight over the past 10, 15 years? Quite a few. Not to the same extent and not to the same dollar value, but quite a few. And Flint is
So,
still blighted to hell.
well, I'm not really saying too much, but doesn't the mayor have a certain amount, like $75,000 that he
A
can
day.
non-discretionary fund that can be
A
so
day.
that doesn't have to be sent to council?
That is correct.
So imagine how many people on the back end that have received that a piece of that non-discretionary
Mm-hmm.
whatever, you know what I mean, and then that they don't have to go in front of council. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like they just, like that's the stuff that I'm worried about.
And this is the same mayor who thinks he's king shit of crap mountain, who calls up people asking for 5,000 and goes, "Do you want more from the ARPA funds?" Even though the talk of the town for the past 2 years has been ARPA funds and how it could help people. What, not enough people applied? Are you fucking kidding me? So now you're cutting out 2 or 3 other groups just to double this one or triple this one? You kidding me? Let's get back on topic.
I'm almost glad that I didn't get any ARPA funds from my nonprofit.
I look at you sideways for a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. Like, what did you and Yuli go golfing?
No, like
Exactly.
but the crazy part about it is, like I used to take golfing lessons from his uncle when I was a kid.
I was joking about golf. Okay.
No, he's like, yes, Sam Neely teach golf out at King Park.
Nonprofits have been, for the longest time,
Mhm.
the chief way of laundering money or giving bribes without having too many eyes look at it. Here in Flint, they've been doing that sort of deal with blight, with trying to get homes or repair homes, trying to say build a business. Oh, our nonprofit, we're opening a grocery store per se, and get thousands upon thousands of dollars, tens, 20s, 50s, hundreds. And over the years, it's accumulated to over billions. And Flint is still in the condition it's in. Out of which group of people in Flint? I mean, you can go billionaires, you can go regular Joes, you can go businesses, you can go the city. Which group do you think has the absolute most money in property in Flint, in assets?
Oh shit. Oops, my bad, Miss Harris. I purposely turned my microphone down. What did I just do?
Uh, you can click the camera button to try again. Yeah, one right there. There we go. See,
I don't even know what I did.
it might just be
I'm gonna put my feet over here. I think I jiggled the lighter somewhere.
that, or it's rainy weather and we got the Wi-Fi box and the Wi-Fi got
Like,
slapped.
I'm gonna put my feet over this.
Anyway, so which group out of every group in Flint that you can think of, billionaires, millionaires, businesses, government, regular Joes, owns the most monetary value in property?
The county?
Nonprofits with over $40 billion worth.
40 billion.
40 with a B billion dollars worth of properties and assets in the city of Flint.
We got that much? Wait a minute, man. Let me turn my microphone up a little bit, I guess.
See, Mama Quill knew it. It has to be nonprofit. Now, 40 fucking billion dollars in the city of Flint in just assets, property, real estate. I mean, you can go with cars, you can go with infrastructure, any of that. All of it combined is 40 billion. And yet we have people who have their roofs caving in. We have people who have their basement walls crumbling in. We have people with trees falling in to their yard. We're not even doing homes just for a second, falling trees from their yard from city or county property, and they can't get to pick it up. We've got homes that haven't been demolished yet, bringing down everyone else's property value.
But
We have
they
40
are
billion.
they are demolishing homes in key locations though, like
Yeah.
corner houses. They just demolished that gas station, not just homes, but they're demolishing all type of stuff. But they just demolished the gas station right there on the corner of on the corner of what's that, Dort and Court. They just demolished that, like, and it's only been closed since like around the summertime. Like that's the shortest amount of time a building's been closed and shut down. Like it's gone now. Like it's completely gone now. But they're demolishing what they want to demolish.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like so, there have been houses on the demo list for years. You hear people down at council saying that they've been trying to get houses demolished next door to them. This, rodents and everything else has been taken over. So they're tearing down what they want, where they want.
I remember listening to Michael Freeman, and I spoke to him one night with Wintus as we were going to the Mott Community College board that had concluded before we got there. I think we did something in the studio, then we drove up there. And he's a nice dude. He really is. I don't know if he's on anyone's payroll, none of that. But he told us the plan for which houses should be demolished at what time. Corner houses, houses close to schools, houses close to parks, houses on main thoroughfares. But I don't see that. You know where I live. I live, goddamn right, on Ballinger. There's a house. Ballinger is a main thoroughfare. Right across from Calvary Church, there is a large house that is decrepit and falling apart. It is horrible. It is an eyesore, and it is dragging down everyone's property value in that area, regardless of how much many of these homeowners bust their ass to keep their properties looking good. Why? Because they don't want the blight police coming. But the blight police never touch the fucking blighted properties. They look at you, they look at me, they look at Terrence, they look at Mama Quill, they look at anyone and everyone who is not affiliated with the city of Flint to make a fucking buck off of us. To fine you, and if you don't pay that fine, then they're going to start levying. They're going to start, oh, well, you didn't pay this fine. We might have to put out an arrest warrant. Or go to the judge and say, hey, we need a summary disposition to take property to cover this fine. So if you owe something like over $50 to any debtor in the state of Michigan, the court can give them your fucking car to auction.
What?
Yeah. The court can award them your car or your home, but your home doesn't go to auction and gets a lien on it. But they can tow your car, auction it off, pay off whatever you owe, and then possibly give you the rest. That's if you're not still making payments on the car. If you are still making payments on the car, what they didn't take goes to the holder of the collateral. And then you still have to make the rest of the payments on that loan because you took a loan to get the car. And they will wholeheartedly do that to you here. Flint is all about making money, not making money for the people, but making money for Flint. And the way they do that is off of your back. So they use the poverty here, the mass amount of people living underneath the poverty line. Flint is one of the poorest cities in the fucking country, according to the poverty line, right? They leverage that to get money to come in, as we saw with ARPA funds. The reason we got so much is because how many people are impoverished here. And when that money comes in, they divvy it out to their friends. And then the city holds on to 40 million of it as revenue replacement. Flint is all about making money, just not for you. We have so many nonprofits that have come here to do that. And on the back end, someone's catching a kickback. So why do you think reputable businesses don't come here? Because they're reputable. They don't want to play the bribe game. That's why we can't get decent jobs here. And I'm not saying Amazon is, by any stretch of your imagination, a dream job, right? But $17 an hour, and then you get all your sick leave up front and PTO time up front. The second you're hired, you don't have to show up to work for a month if you don't want to. Just use up all your years' time off. That's not a bad job. It's not great. mind you, but you can still get your forklift certification, go anywhere else in the country, work a warehouse job in a place that doesn't fuck you over, say city wise, for about 35 an hour.
Here's the thing that I don't understand is why our elected leaders chose to vote for a $72 million tax abatement over 20 years, but they didn't. Nobody thought to say where's the community benefits. If me and you are doing everything that we can to make sure that our kids have a better life, but the people that we elected are up there just playing around with our kids' future and their financials, you know what I mean? Because this is gonna, like, who knows how long we're gonna be around and who knows how long we're gonna be working or whatnot.
Yep.
So they're willingly putting the next generation into debt. Nobody thought to say, hey, let's make sure that they put something in this paperwork for our kids that's gonna end up paying for this.
Yeah.
What about y'all? I don't know, fix up that school over there. I don't know what it could have been. You know what I mean? But something for the community.
Honestly,
what's up with the
as fucked as we get around here, I'm willing to settle. I'm willing to say, all right, why don't you make a scholarship program for our kids? And that's settling.
Or how about
just anything?
That's part of the reason why I was fighting so hard to get the trade service back in, because if you say, hey, we can help you guys, get money to build, put some trade programs back into your schools, and that would have been dope enough right there, because who knows what kind of job's going to go over there.
Oh yeah,
you could, what if we bring a Tesla plant here?
What if
we bring a whatever? They can have some type
even Ashley Capital themselves, because they have their own building managers,
right? So they can even train.
Yeah, it would pay itself off, because then you don't have to bring someone in. You've already got a trained workforce here to do shit, which costs you less, but it's still more money than the average median around Flint.
And in some type of way, I don't really know exactly how unions work, but they could be, aren't those union jobs?
Most of them, yeah.
So bricklayers, people that they could get
linemen, yeah,
all of that's journeymen and all that, whatever that like it's all this got to be. It's like, why can't people just think more? What is it? Innovatively. Like,
yeah,
let's make it make sense. Like, if we've got this big old building that we just gotta pay for, why not somebody say, hey, look, we just gave y'all 72 mil.
Yeah, basically, right? Like, you're paying us up front for the land, cool, and now we're taking a break or a hit to our tax revenue for the next 20 years to the tune of $72 million. So you're basically getting it for free.
Yeah, the schools do get money from the taxpayers. It's the $9,100 per student, but the Flint schools only has 2,900 students.
I mean,
so yeah, we do get every school district gets money from the taxpayers. That's how the school district, pretty much gets their, outside of the grant money that they get from the federal government. But yeah,
And let's not forget, even though the state says that your lottery goes towards schools, what they do,
6% of the lottery goes to, public schools. So
that's after everything. They advertise it as something like 50%.
Yeah,
no, that goes into
50% of the 6%. It actually goes into the school. So 50% of the 6%. So that's what that is.
What it actually does is it goes into a general pot. All right, someone wins the lottery. Now they have to pay taxes on that, either upfront, they pay half, or they pay it over a 20-year period, which comes out to like 65% with interest. Okay, that goes into the general fund, and then now the general fund's been swelled, right? And they say, oh, well, our general fund says X amount to public schools, X%. That's why they say it like that. Not 50% does not go into the schools around Michigan. Jesus Christ. Next time you hear a politician say that, I'm not saying to slap them. I'm saying they might need a cognitive check with your hand. Yeah. Year after year after year after year, we see so many people saying this would be great for Flint. This would be awesome for Flint. But we don't get that in Flint. I would love to see just some logistics, you know, say not necessarily Amazon, hell, Walmart, warehouses, whatever. Why? Because that brings a train of jobs. You have to have the managers, you have to have the inventory folks, you have to have the warehouse workers, you have to have the truckers, a whole train of jobs into the area. And that would be so simple to, move people into Flint, or even better, train people of Flint to do those jobs and make a decent living. Right now, we have so many people on food stamps, on state assistance. And now, whenever you want to get help, like we saw this morning, and God bless her heart, thank you, Miss Rose Morrow. But how many people are actually up to date on their taxes? How many people are up to date on their water bill? Or how many people actually have the deed to their house in their house, in a filing cabinet or in a safe? I know mine is, but I'm
But
weird.
but even if,
I'm
how
paranoid.
many of those people are senior citizens that can't, they might have it in the house in the safe, or maybe in a safety deposit box. They don't even know where it is. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like,
shit gets lost.
but even if aren't deeds at the city down there at the city,
Now you have to go pay it.
right? But at the end of the day, why do you have to pay for them to look up something that's already there?
I mean, shit, it is not too hard. The same website I go to, we all go to pay our water bill, which I don't know why we needed that mini police station on the north side for people to go pay their water bill. Everyone does it on the fucking internet. Everyone has access to the internet, literally.
Not senior citizens.
They don't have access, but at the same time,
they just don't. It's just not in them. Like,
yeah.
Like I take my mom's water bill down there. You know what I mean? Like that's just I take my aunt's. So
I mean, Flint's not large enough to really worry about subdividing things out like that anymore.
no.
It was just a money laundering scheme to give Huntington a little bit of money for their old property. I mean, hell, isn't the new purchasing manager hired from Huntington? Oops. Anyway, huh?
No. Yeah. Okay.
So
But yeah.
we have all this in place, and we could use people in Flint actually picking up these jobs, but we don't. We purposely shoot ourselves in the foot. Well, our city government shoots us in the foot, and certain leaders in the community shoot us in the foot, because then they can't pimp out our poverty here. They don't get millions upon millions of free dollars to divvy up amongst themselves. That, oh, it comes to the community. I haven't seen no blight cleanup. That grant has been around for years, and now they just gave out something like 15-20 million dollars in grant money for blight. That nice key word. You won't see but maybe one operation from each one of those nonprofits. They're just going to rent a dumpster, have a whole bunch of those V words running around with some shovels. You're doing great community work. We're going to put your picture up on Facebook, and the rest of it gets held on to. Now they can say, yeah, look, we did the work. Look, picture on Facebook.
No, they're gonna pay the kids with $11 an hour to clean up the parks, and people are gonna get paid to redo the sidewalks, right?
Shit. Look,
now, that was funny.
it is a
man.
mess. And it drives me absolutely fucking insane. As Bruce Sears has been saying for quite a while, and he's brought plenty of attention here.
Yeah.
He's got a guy that he works with. I can't remember the name of the news source that he runs. He brought him here for a documentary, hopefully to get some more attention on Flint, because our water ain't clean. But every time we go down there, and we as citizens, we as residents, we have folks who actually live in the city of Flint, and even our neighbors who are concerned for us. Those that live in Grand Blanc, or say Burton, and they come to speak on our behalf, right? We can point to the problems in the city. We can say, hey, look, our roads are screwed. Hey, look, our power lines are drooping dangerously fucking low. You could have used some of that money to bury the power lines, like most modern cities. You could have fixed our water. You could fix our sidewalks. You could fix our roads. There's so much that money could have actually done. Instead, they bought a couple of new police cruisers. They bought themselves a new fleet of fucking cars for the city.
Some big old nice trucks.
Yeah, which I still want to figure out why one is parked on Sloan Street every Thursday, Friday, Saturday night, backed into an abandoned house. Oh, I know why. The guy doesn't have his own personal vehicle and he walks down to Rubes from there.
Oh wow.
Yeah. But we go and we mention this and they say, oh, we're doing it. Except we know no nonprofits don't actually fucking work here. Most of them, not all, most of them are set up to be scams, Ponzi schemes, and ways of making the runner money. Hell, we're giving money to churches now with those federal funds. That's cute. Except many of those churches are also hosting political speakers coming in because it is election season. And they're going to invite certain speakers. I can guarantee you. You won't be invited to any of those while you're running, buddy.
It doesn't matter to me. And I was just about to kind of make that comment anyway. Like when I go visit a church, especially when I'm campaigning, like I'm not one of them people that has to be the center of attention anyway. So like I'll just kind of slide in the back. I'll just come there to feel the vibe and worship. It's not like I'll just have to get up there and speak. I just I might get up and say hello. My name is Michael Clark. I'm a member of Vernon Chapel. Whatever. But I don't want to go up and I think that's fake. That's just not. I just don't. That's just not how I roll. I don't.
When I ran, I was invited to one church, whole room full of politicians, and I felt scummy just being there.
Yeah,
that's God's house.
Yeah,
politics is so anti-God-like.
I don't. I mean, I know
I don't want to bring my sleeves in there.
I just don't. That's just not my. I just don't. I'll come in. I kind of slide in the back and kind of sit there and I'll, get my little,
Yeah, like
offering or and then I'll, when it's time to leave, I'll shake a few hands and I'm out.
Yeah, right. Like everyone gathers outside and talks for a minute. You can do that. Some people might recognize you. When I was running, I was counseled by Judy. You should become a member of a church around here. For political gain? Hell no. Hell no. Like that bothers me. I don't go to church on a regular. Why would I go to church for politics?
And that's kind of, and I hate to just admit that I don't go to church on a regular, but it's just Sunday is really kind of like my day to rest. Now I do go to church every so often, but I just don't like being fake about it's now this. I need you now, so I'm just going to show up at church right now. Like I just don't roll like that. You know what I mean? Like
I mean, honestly, you'd be better off catching most folks that actually give a fuck about the community actually doing something in the community rather than you would at church. If you see a politician only at church, then there's an issue. If you haven't seen them before in your life and then suddenly they start showing up to your church, there's an issue. How about you catch them out in the community? Because you don't have to be an elected leader to be a leader. Right. But that's exactly what we see here. People who say, I'm going to stand up for the community and I will do this, 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 and this if elected. But then when they lose an election, they diss the fuck up here. Where have certain members been from the last state rep race? How about the last city council race?
I do stuff like, I just like I go and I'll volunteer to give out food at St. Mark's every so often. I do stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like I just
that's cool.
I don't.
You're not showing up to basically be a political whore. You're showing up to do community work. Okay, that's all right.
Yeah, I do that all the time. Well, not all the time.
Yeah, that's your thing. There's been several times I've called you and been like, "Hey, I'm here with Art." I'm like, "Ah, shit." Yeah, that means he's doing something community. I'll call you back later. My time ain't.
Art's the one that got me going up there with Pastor Thompson. You know what I mean? So I think he sure is because Art's up there all the time.
Yeah, that's like Art's second or third home.
Yeah, he's always up there.
Oh no, his second home's definitely city council chambers. That man is always there. Like, doesn't it?
I'm everywhere. I just don't like the fact that it's time to vote, so I'm gonna start going to your church and asking. I just don't
follow the money. You and I have been saying that for a while. I've heard Terrence on his show say it. I've seen Melissa post it up. I've seen so many people say it. Follow the money. Look at those ARPA funds and who has been paid, and then see where certain favorites are going to go to have their speeches. Look at certain churches, look at certain say nonprofit organizations. Oh, they're going to have a big event where they're going to clean up some blight. There one time that they'll clean up blight, and you'll see several people on the other bench show up and throw on a pair of gloves for a second, get a picture of them with a snow shovel full of fucking like broken ass shingles or some shit, and then they will instantly take off those gloves, pour some hand sanitizer on their hands, and roll the fuck out.
Yeah, see stuff like that. That's fake. I can't, like, and just to say,
But ARPA dollars, as everyone has been saying, turned out to be bribe dollars.
Yeah.
Because do you think those nonprofits would be backing these certain politicians if they didn't get that money? It's corrupt and dirty all around. Everyone makes fun of Chicago style politics. They haven't seen Flint. Come to Flint. Hell, we don't need people driving around in Ford Model Ts with Tommy guns. We've got fucking political pimps and prostitutes running around. You don't need a gun when you've got a sack full of money. If you're doing what they're doing, because you got a whole police force full of cops that happen to do exactly what those folks do. That you don't need that kind of pressure, is what I'm saying. That we don't have any Al Capone shit going on here. We got some Bill Gates with his checkbook shit going on here.
It might be some Al Capone going on here too. Like, you never know. It really is a lot going on in the streets. So who knows?
My streets calmed down a few times after some troubles broken out, and I stepped outside. So
who's to say that if they'll put the police on you in the city council meeting, they won't do it? You see what happened to me,
dude? There's an implicit threat given off at city council every fucking time, right? The cops can show up, enforce an entire shift of cops to remove a 60-something-year-old man from his elected seat. But if you call for gunshots in a ward that they don't like, or if they recognize your name, they don't show up. The threat is implicit. Support me, or you have no support at all. You pay for these services, fuck you. That's what your taxes are supposed to be. They are supposed to be the price you pay for living in a society, an organized society. However, they're withheld from you if you do not play their game. Unless you kiss Liddell Lewis's ass, Quincy Murphy's ass, Sheldon Neely's ass, or Cynthia Neely's ass, they do not show up when you need them. It took a young woman being shot in the fucking head on Sloan Street Juneteenth for cops to show up, and we only got 4. There were several other kids hit that went to the hospital on their own. She died. Another one was on the ground bleeding out when the cops showed up. It took that for me to get some cops on my street. Why? I don't know. Because there were fights happening, drugs being used, underage drinking. There were houses being kicked, property damage. They said they had a DUI on Dort Street that took the entire fucking police force, apparently. And then this was a strat. It wasn't bumped up in how urgent or necessary it was until body hit the floor. Are you fucking kidding me? No, they recognized my name. At Trevor, the perplexing part is the systemic murder of the electorate via bad water and third world living conditions. You will not hear me argue that. Do they somehow believe the desirables left behind are going to yield enough votes to keep them in power? Yes, because you push everyone out that doesn't work with them, or you arrest them, or you fucking kill them through bad living conditions. All that's left are the ones that are voting for them. Take a look at which wards supposedly have clean water right now. The wards that were very heavily in favor of the current mayor. The first ward wasn't. Most of the second ward wasn't. Now they've got a councilwoman that suppresses many of their voices. She kicks out her own fucking ward from meetings. And yeah, they still don't have clean water, but she'll swear it is. How about the third ward? Fourth? Fourth actually has clean water. I remember that. I remember a certain quote. My water wasn't affected. Fifth and sixth don't. Seventh, parts of it don't. Eighth is okay. Large parts of ninth don't. You think the Regencies have clean water? Hey, Terrence, how's your water, buddy? You still on? It's scary. The entire reason I am moving is because if I'm paying for something and I'm not getting it, then I'm not going to pay. I'm terrified that one of these nights, if I really need the cops, they ain't going to show up. And then if I have to defend myself in one way or another, I'm still getting prosecuted. That's just the way the law works.
The crazy part about it is that, is all the stuff that you've gone through with, with their rifle, and what I mean. But even with me, with my gun, it's like I ain't got nothing violent.
No,
you ain't got nothing violent.
No, well, I've got nothing violent that was not government sanctioned.
Right, but the people that are out here, you know what I mean? Like it's shootouts every night. It's people getting shot up every day. Like guns are going off every day, and they choose to pick all their energy into somebody who's not a violent person, like who's got all their licensing and like that's Dude, the part that blows my mind.
Flint at night sounds like a fucking redneck Southern wedding.
Like
I'm not kidding you.
At night, though. It can be in the broad daylight.
Oh, broad daylight, but it's calmed down a little bit. At night is when it pops. Oh yeah, the summer's coming up. That's true.
That's because it's wintertime. I remember sitting on my uncle's back porch, and he stays right around Civic Park. You know what I mean? And like that's the first time I ever heard a switch go off in person. Like, and whoever was shooting back sounded like they had
something deep, big, and heavy.
Yeah, but it's like that was like 2:00 in the afternoon after church.
Also, side tangent. If you're thinking of purchasing a firearm, ladies and gentlemen, number one, do it from a licensed FFL. Because new ATF rule going into place. Anyone who even sells a firearm now needs to have a FFL, killing private transfers. Number two, don't get anything with a switch. A, it's illegal. B, it's a waste of ammo. You ain't hitting shit. And ammo's expensive. All right, so Terrence on the YouTube side. Water is horrible in my house. Just tested it again yesterday. I hate paying my bill.
That's the crazy part about it. Why do we have to pay water bills? And why is it heavily scrutinized that people have water bills? They can't,
and they're thinking of raising the price again.
It's the water bill. The people that are making us pay for shit water aren't as scrutinized as the people that have a water bill. It's like with all the money that they have, Rich Jones was saying it. Let's zero out the water bills. Zero out the water bills.
And the sad part is I agreed with him, but I also knew that the state would never do it. Why? Because the state said it was part of our part of that ruling was we give you the money, Flint. Flint, you are in charge of fixing it.
Well, I mean, like
out the ARPA funds, that'd be great. However, how were they gonna fucking pay off their friends?
I'm just saying, like
what could have been. Pipe dreams are beautiful.
You know what I mean? Like, but it's like I remember listening to that meeting when they said that we're going to give them $300, and then they debated for a long time whether it was going to be a credit or a payment. You know what I mean? And it ended up being a $300 credit. So like what is $300 when your water bill is already over $100 a month?
When I first moved into my house, I inherited its water bill. Bought it from, personal sale from lady moving out. She couldn't keep up the water bill. Mm-hmm. I was upside down $3,000 on that bitch because of a leak. I eventually got it paid down. I'm actually ahead on my bill because they stopped the cycle. It used to be cycle would always be on the 1st. Now it's like on the 18th. So I just overpay. But if I had been $3,000 over and that $300 water credit came through, oh boy, you paid 10%. Oh wait, it doesn't count as a payment. your water still gets shut the fuck off.
Mm-hmm.
Are you kidding me? That was a sham. It was a political ploy because it was an election year for the mayor.
I remember it was Dennis that might have been saying that. Somebody was
Dennis brought it up
Yeah.
after the fact. Remember, Dennis used to be on that side. Dennis said old folks will be able to, save that money and go buy groceries X, Y, Z. Then they changed the wording on them, and it didn't count as a payment. So you still had to go there with like a $5-10 payment just to keep your water on.
Yeah. This is I don't even know who I've written emails to the FBI, the Inspector General, Attorney General.
I'm telling you, right? The IRS.
Times, Rashard Ritchie.
There's
his name? What's his name? Oh my God.
Sink?
Roland Martin.
Oh, I thought you
Tommy
wrote.
G.
I thought you wrote to like the actual Young Turk dude. Like,
no, what's the other dude name? Jedediah Davis or Jones? I forget. Like all the seriously, somebody has to come and shed some light because obviously A1 No's platform isn't big enough. Not saying that that's not a shot to us, but like somebody with a big platform and has to come here and shed some light on what we got going on. Like with us, with Terrence, with you know what I mean. Like everybody.
Honestly, just because Flint is a Democrat stronghold, I'm thinking of writing Crowder from Louder with Crowder. He is very far conservative. He's far surpasses me on the conservative scale. And I'm so red, I'm yellow. I'm fucking libertarian. However, just because it is a Democrat stronghold, I think he would look at it with that scrutinous eye. Just the same way that it didn't come out that Neely didn't have a degree until a conservative news outlet looked at it. So that's what I plan on doing. I plan on going to conservative news outlets just because they want to smear Democrats. Fine, go for it. Here's a list. And to be honest, the only two ways to really get the US government fucked up with you is fuck with our boats. Ask Japan. They fucked with our boats. We bitch slapped them with the sun twice. Or fuck with their money. Go tell the IRS. The IRS would be the absolute best place to go. Because here's the fun thing, and this is crazy. On your IRS forms, if you steal, that is taxable.
Yeah, I remember you saying
Yep.
that.
If you take bribes, that is taxable. If you do any illegal activity that makes you monetary gain, that is taxable. Okay. Well, how many of these folks put into their, 1040 EZs? I am a political representative and I took a bribe. I don't think so. So IRS, please come and visit. I think you might be getting shortchanged here. Now watch, we're going to see like 50 feds roll through Flint tomorrow, all of them with IRS. We heard someone didn't pay us. They don't care about criminal activity. They care about not getting their bottom dollar.
I just think that it's so much BS, time and energy and finances and resources being spent on BS versus what could really be accomplished, or
how you said time and resources, right?
Yeah.
Versus what could be accomplished. How long last city council meeting did they talk about 810?
I actually fell
2 fucking hours.
Yeah.
2 hours where they could have been discussing real issues and real ways to help people. But instead, they want to talk about how they have 810 this, 810 that. I don't like 810. 810 makes me look bad. Well, no, you make yourself look bad. And then we just happen to highlight it because, let's face it, you're pretty fucking stupid.
Well, the thing
but
is, this stuff, they're getting pretty close to violating the Open Meetings Act.
They are. And yes, Rosemaro, he does.
They're getting pretty close to violating the Open Meetings Act. Now, I'm not a stickler for the rules like that. I just know that, you can't shut out public from the public meeting. You know what I mean? Like, and every other, I don't know. You can't, in the first amendment, like you can't, they're skating real close to it.
The way, so I've shared this before in my lawsuit. My lawsuit is open meetings related, not firearms necessarily, but open meetings related. Several times in there, Attorney Kim has mentioned media on official documents saying how X, Y, and Z can be done with media. X, Y, and Z can be done with media. Every
Like reference, I mean, like as far as what?
how it could be excluded unless a judge says so, since they're trying to be a courthouse.
Oh, but no. This is an open meeting. It's an open meeting unless you go into a closed
That is
session.
exactly what my lawyer and 5 others told him, and the judge agreed. However, he was trying to say that without a judge's permission, since they're trying to partner with the 67th District Court, that without a judge's permission, you cannot carry a firearm in there. You cannot use your mobile device in there. And you cannot use a recording device or broadcast in there.
No.
They were trying to set up my lawsuit as a way of going after the media.
Right.
That got shot down. Now they're trying to make it to where there's a special area set up for the media to be at, which is in the back of the room. They already have shitty audio, so you won't be able to hear anything. You won't be able to see much. They're trying to occlude things and hide things. Now, according to Open Meetings Act, they can only set only set boundaries and restrictions on things that may cause a disruption to a meeting or may be dangerous. A tripod does not cause a disruption, nor is any of the way that Art, Linto Law Group, when they were representing Mr. Mays, their tripods were not in the way or causing a disruption. They were not dangerous. So then they tried to say electrical cords.
Wait a minute.
Now, hold on. So if we're not using electrical cords, say if I bring a phone charger and I hook it up to a pocket battery, one of those battery banks, then there's no issue, right?
When Channel 12 came to City Council, they were sitting right next to where, on the right there.
They were sitting right behind me.
Right.
I was having to duck so I didn't mess up their shot.
So it's like, it's not just the chilling circuit media, so to speak. That would be mainstream media that would be affected as well. That's.
But they also have boom mics, omnidirectional mics, X, Y, and Z.
Right, but even if just the other day there was we did a press conference, the school board and the superintendent and the teachers union. They all had big old cameras right there. You know what I mean? Yep. Now, true enough, that is a press conference, but even on a regular day, they can set up right there in the front row if they wanted to. There's no rule saying that we have to put you in the back of the auditorium. You know what I mean? That's all just.
But what I'm getting at is the entire discussion was around 8:10. This podcast, The Morning Bump, went to the show, your show, Tanya's show.
I don't have a show. We have a show. This is your show.
Okay. Our show, our other show.
This is your show.
Our other show, and then your show tonight, right?
Oh, I forgot about that. Me and Carol.
Yeah.
Let me start talking now because she ain't gonna let me say nothing.
There you go. Anyway, they were saying that they were going on about all these shows, right? They were dialed in on 8:10. So it feels like this piece of legislation that they're trying to pass is targeted to punish 8:10. So then, is that not illegal? Is that not something that we could sue over?
That's definitely discriminatory.
And I'm phrasing it like this. I'm phrasing it like this because you've seen that I've done it once. I'll fucking do it again. Test me. I mean,
I just got to get out of here.
Nah. Holy run-ons, Batman. Yes. No. I think I covered everything I wanted to. I really hate nonprofits in the city of Flint. Whereas the people in the city of Flint maybe hold on to maybe $50 million collectively as residents. Nonprofits hold the majority of any sort of wealth in Flint at $40 billion. Not even the governments here. We're talking state, federal, county, municipal hold that much money in the city of Flint. And all that money could have gone into creating something beautiful that we could all take pride in living in Instead, it's just taking pride in living in a place that is rougher than it should be. When you meet someone like I met several people in Texas from Flint, and they would say, "Yeah, I'm a tough bastard. I grew up in Flint." Okay, how about a place, hopefully in the future, with all of our combined efforts and work, where people go, "I grew up in Flint, and I don't know about too much hardship. It's a city that takes care of its people." That's the type of pride I would like to have.
I, I agree with you, but I don't think that they meant, I think, those of us that actually grew up in Flint knew that we had a whole bunch of different neighborhoods, and there were rivalries between neighborhoods, whether it be basketball, football, or whether it be, you know, we're tougher than you know what I mean? So, I mean, like, even, so I don't want to,
Like,
there definitely was.
my wife told my friend in Colorado Springs, he was a crackhead, but he was cool as shit. I like the guy. Um, that she grew up in Flint. He goes, "Oh damn, I heard about that. Bodies dropping everywhere there." Flint has a reputation, and I would love it if that reputation turned around to be a city that supports our kids, a city that
Right.
made it to where you don't have to experience as many hardships as you do now. I like it to be a city that makes it to where you don't have to experience nearly as many hardships as the rest of America. Uplift instead of push down. But instead, we give all of our love and attention to nonprofits because there's political favors on the back end. Like I said, watch who gets to speak at what nonprofit during an event.
I just wanted to say real quick, I'm leaving here, going down to the county building and what is it, my papers,
Your candidacy.
my candidacy papers, so I could be on the ballot. So I will be on the ballot. I'm doing that as soon as I leave here. So shout out to me.
Shout out to Mike Clack, guys. He is accepting, not expecting, accepting the that dirty V word.
Oh yeah,
Volunteers.
volunteers.
But he'll do it all him damn self if he has to.
Like, I love to walk the streets. Like, that is me and my son. That is our thing. We love going door to door.
Dude.
You know what I mean? So like, I don't.
We were knocking doors, getting signatures for Liddell, and I'm like, "Hey, dude, do you want to take over?" I'm like, "Do you want to take over driving for a little bit?"
I'm good. I'm gone.
Damn, Clack.
Art was like, "Man, come over here." I'm like, "Man, just give me my own street, man. I'm good. I can hit both sides. I'm good. I can work this." That's like, that really is my thing. Like, going door to door and being in the community. Like, whether it be getting recall signatures or getting support for myself or somebody else. You know what I mean? Like, I like to do that. That's just my thing. Now, when them people turned the dogs loose on me, that was something different. Like, these feet still work.
Yeah. And that's why we have safety trails.
These feet still work, but yeah.
That way you can jump in the truck, I can lock the door, and they can scratch up my paint. Fuck it. Jesus Christ.
But yeah, I just wanted to put that out there. You also, that will be, official as of, sometime today, Friday today. So,
let's go ahead and hit that end stream button so you can get that. Guys, keep an eye out. Keep an eye out for Clack and reach out to him if you'd like to support his campaign, either financially or through that dirty V word. Walking, knocking is always fun, or even just putting things up on Facebook, showing support for.
I'll even take that. You know what I mean? Like, it was cool. Like, last time I saw, like, people had like the little thing on Facebook, like a picture frame, and you could put your face in it. Like, I support such and such. I'm gonna do that.
There you go. I really do like the God, what is it? Peer pressure campaign. Oh, my friend that I really like is going for this guy. All the cool kids are doing it. I will too. I love peer pressure campaigns because they're cheap.
But yeah, no, I will. I'd appreciate everybody's support. Whatever. So yeah, you'll be hearing more from me in the near future. The filing date is April 23rd, so there might be a bunch of other people that might jump in. I have no idea, but as of now, there's only one person in that race, and that would be the incumbent.
Yeah.
So y'all know we're gonna have to do. Well, So, all right, y'all. Thanks for tuning in, and me and Carol will be on in a couple hours.
Yee.
Peace.